Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Truth Tom. Today I want to talk about loneliness. People are telling me anyway, there's an epidemic of loneliness, especially in the United States. Now, I can't speak for the rest of the world. Now, that's happening for a lot of reasons. But I have a solution for you if you watch this channel. So let's just plug into that. Now, a little bit of a backstory here. Almost 4 years ago, I went through some changes in my life. I quit drinking, not because I was an alcoholic, not because, I had any financial problems or anything. I needed to make some changes, and most of all, I needed to change some of the people that were around me. Some I had to remain connected to, but I didn't need to be connected socially. So an easy thing to do at that point was to say, I'd love to hang out, but you know what, I'm off the booze type of thing. So then that led me actually to getting really healthy and making all kinds of changes in my life. But although I started to feel better and I didn't have that negativity anymore, and I obviously I was healthier automatically. I mean, I've been in the booze business all my life. It's not good for you. I'm just saying. And I'm not judging anybody who drinks. I would, if I had a friend or a family member who told me some great news, I'd have a beer with them or I'd have a glass of wine with them. But, that might be it. I wouldn't be interested anymore. Even though I'm still in the business, I stay on the opposite side of the bar side of the business now, currently. And I like that. I like it more. I've always liked people. I never needed alcohol to like people. But anyway, I'm going off track here. This is not about alcohol. Point is, when I went through that whole process, I lost a lot of friends. Now, some I kept, but many of them I lost because they're doing different things. Nothing wrong with them, nothing wrong with me. And I had been an investor in Tesla since technically 2016, but really 2017 I started investing. 2019 I got more involved. 2020 crashed, and I loaded up then. I took big advantage then because everything crashed. Anyway, I had started to get involved in X, Twitter. I was happy that Elon bought it, blah, 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 blah. And then I really started getting into the culture of Tesla and the community of Tesla. And then I started following guys on YouTube like Stephen Mark Ryan and Rob Maurer. And then that led me over to people like Joe Tegmeyer and then Futuraza Brian and all these things. And then I started hearing about all these Tesla events. Of course, we purchased our first Tesla in 2022, which was the Model 3. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go to one of these events because I had nowhere to hang out. So I was spending a lot of time on YouTube and a lot of time on X, as well as working and taking care of my family and doing all these other things. But anyway, I decided I wanted to go to Chattanooga, to the Chattanooga Charge. That was my first event. And oddly enough, it was their first event. It was the first year, and I think that's 2 years ago. I missed the one last year. I couldn't go, but that was my first event. And that's where I met like Simon from X Light Shows. I met Diana, who was Denver Tesla Owners Club. I met Tesla Tino and Nancy, and I met Bearded Tesla Guy. I met Drake. I met Joe Tegmeyer. I had been watching Joe's videos. I was very familiar. I met Brian Futuraza, and I'm going to forget a bunch of people. I also test drove the Model Y, the new Model Y, which is the one I own now. That was the decider. And I test drove the Cybertruck for the first time, which breaking news is coming soon. but that's a whole other video for another day. I met people at that event. Not just the creators, not the creators, just the crowd and the audience and the people and the fans. And the one thing I found was even the suppliers, like DIY Rap Club was there, and the people who make EV Ject was there. And I should do a video on all those people, actually, who they are and what they do, because they're a very important part of the community and Tesla as a company, and safety and aftermarket stuff and all that. There's this whole big ecosystem behind Tesla. But anyway, I found everybody to be extremely friendly. And then I met a guy from Florida, Steve. Shout out to you, Steve. Steve and I are friends. And anyway, the rest is history. The point I'm making to you is there's a lot of senior citizens who watch my videos. I'm older. I'm in my 60s. This has opened up a whole new world for me, and I love it. I love it. It's you know, I'm an investor, I'm an owner of Teslas, I'm a fan of Teslas. I'm now in the community, and that community is beautiful. It's a beautiful community. I am never alone because of that. I have made great friends. I go to as many events as I can. I met David Moss at my restaurant when he completed his first 10,000 miles on FSD. David and I are friends. He's a wonderful human being, and obviously a great asset to Tesla and the community. These are really good people. There's a guy down in Texas, Houston. His name is JC Christopher. He does videos also, and he's an Uber guy. He's a retired Marine. God bless him and everybody for their service. I have huge respect for people who served and made this country so great. But I'm looking forward to meeting JC, and I'm going to X Takeover in October. X Takeover is the biggest Tesla event of the year. By the way, go to any Tesla event. If you hear anything Tesla in your hometown or anywhere close by that you can go, it might be a light show, it might be a grand opening of a supercharging site, just go. Go. You will meet the most wonderful people you've ever met in your life. But anyway, I'm going down to X Takeover in October. And I'm going to be driving down. That's the other thing that we like to do. Many of the guys and girls, we drive. You know, if it's 1,000 miles, if it's, 1,800 miles, sometimes 2,000 miles, sometimes all the way across the country, people will drive their Teslas. And then along the way, we meet up at superchargers because we all need to charge our cars. And it's the most fun you will ever have. The other thing I talk about all the time is because of full self-driving, you're sitting there going, oh, man, I don't want to drive 1,000 miles or 1,500 miles. When you're in full self-driving, it doesn't feel like that at all. In fact, you are completely 100% relaxed. You are not tired in any way, shape, or form. And we now love the charging stops, because the charging stops, sometimes they're 10 minutes, sometimes they're 30 minutes. But we love them because they're usually in great areas with great amenities, 99.9% of the time. The new charging sites are even better now than they've ever been. So, look, if you're older, obviously young people get all this, but if you're older and you're watching my channel, as many of you are, don't be alone. Don't be alone. You know, as we get older, we do lose friends. I've lost friends. I've also lost family members. And it sucks. It sucks. And some of you watching this have lost a spouse. It sucks. You know, your family is great. They're the most important thing in the world. Your grandkids are great. They're the most important things in the world. But you need your own life too. You need your own social life. You know, it's funny, people talk about social media as some kind of bad thing. Well, it is if you go down the rabbit holes and you watch depressing things, or you watch propaganda, or even worse, you start watching the news. Stay away from the news. You don't need the news. If anything bad happens, you'll find out about it. You don't need to go down that rabbit hole and listen to politicians and listen to negative people. Now, of course, if you watch any of my videos and if you comment in the comments section, there are some negative people in there. Very few, but usually they're anti-Tesla, and they're anti-Tesla because they're either invested in companies that Tesla is competing with. They may be diehard car guys. I get it. I'm a diehard car guy. People forget that. Many of us Tesla owners are diehard car guys. We don't love Tesla and hate other cars. We love cars. We love all cars. We just happen to love Teslas more, and you will too if you buy one. There's a link in the description if you want to go take a test drive. There's also a link in the comments always for a Tesla referral. Be lonely. Don't. There's no need now. Social media is not what it was. I believe it has evolved. I have something like I think I have almost 1,700 followers on X. And I communicate with these people, not all 1,700, but people come into your feed, or your algo as we call it, your algorithm. And there are many of the people I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And we chat back and forth, and we find things out, breaking news. There's a guy on there called Sawyer Merritt, who's got 1 million followers now. And Sawyer, I don't know, I mean, he must never sleep, but any news that comes out about Tesla, EVs, SpaceX, anything to do with this entire ecosystem that we're in, he will put that up on X. And he also does YouTube videos. There's a cross. Dylan Loomis is another great YouTuber. You need to watch his videos. A very, very nice young man. Very smart. He gives you the deep details on what's, for instance, Terafab. Elon is talking about generating energy in space. Dylan Loomis in his videos gives you a really good breakdown of how all that is going to work. So go follow him. But you get to meet all these people. You get to meet them online. You get to be friends. And as long as they know you're a real person and you don't have some stupid agenda, or you're not a bot. There's a lot of bots on X, sadly. A lot of these fake accounts. You see them on Facebook also. Then they send you a DM, a direct message, and they're trying to sell you crap. I joke with the guys, I'm like, why do all these beautiful young girls want to be friends with me on X and on TikTok? Well, we all know why. That's all about money too. And be careful with that. They actually take advantage of old men especially. So be very, very careful that you don't go down that rabbit hole. I hate to see people lonely. There's no need for you to be lonely. My social media is about happiness and love and kindness and sharing and learning. I learn from these young people every day. And the guys my age that are in there, they're serial learners also. The other beautiful thing about that is, when I'm in these discussion groups on X, or the discussion groups on YouTube, or we're on Spaces, I'm never the smartest guy in the room. Rarely am I the smartest guy in the room. Now, if you want to talk restaurants, that's a whole other story. But I don't talk restaurants for a specific reason, because this is my escape from my job. Just like you need escape from your job. Even though I'm the boss, I still need an escape from my job. I love the people I work with, all that good stuff. But the point here is, you will find wonderful people. Come to a Tesla event. Come to X Takeover. I believe there are still general admission tickets available, which is good enough for anybody. Outside of a factory tour, general admission is good. I will leave a link in the description for X Takeover tickets. I will try to leave as many links as I can to some of the people I mentioned, or maybe my top 3, let's say. I'll leave those links there. There are other links in the description also If you want a free artificial intelligence prompting course, I have one in there that I generated with the help of Grok, ChatGPT, and Claude. I also I endorse EV Base. So if you need aftermarket EV products for Teslas or other vehicles, there's a link in my description that gives you a 26% discount. And you can buy me a coffee in there. You can send me a Venmo if you like. I don't want to sound like I'm begging, but it's nice when people appreciate what you do. And at the end of the day, I want to grow this channel because I want more people in my life, and I know you do too. Get off the couch. Go to a Tesla event. I hope this video made sense, but it needed to be made. Please comment.